Hi there again, YouTube. It's VivMoon here. Second part of the series. We're looking at the history, and so we got to the point where we're on a planet that's been subjugated by something quite alien to the other organisms on this planet. And the reason why they're manifesting us in the way they have because of the laws of physics that we enjoy here. So the Oxitec principle is essentially it's a way of essentially hijacking the Kundalini. So in order to get an RNA sequence into the vessel of a planet which is feminine by its nature, it's a vessel. It's to get the RNA sequences into the female, to the planet, to this Earth, to Mother Earth. It's done through her children. So to get the RNA sequences into they use the Oxitec principle, which works on the Kundalini of female aspect being as much as so when a child is born, a woman has when a child is born naturally, there's a mother has an orgasm, a special type of orgasm that protects her body from the pain of childbirth to an extent, but also helps her mind compartmentalize into becoming a mother, so that she can essentially split her personality from when she was a mum to before, so that she avoids like having the baby blues or something. Yeah, so this is like part of the functions of the human female anatomy, that the Oxitec principle utilises that function without necessarily having the child be born. So unlocking the woman's Kundalini in order to insert the RNA sequence, and that is the Oxitec principle. So that's the technology that they've used to try and subjugate this planet. The frequencies that are being farmed are the result of, so the valued frequencies by this order are the frequencies created by frequencies on this order are created by narcissism. So you have empaths in this world, and you have narcissists who essentially feed on, it generates certain frequencies within the people they interact with. So they require sort of psychic vampirism, and that is essentially the Oxitec principle is used to. So if you imagine all life as equal, yeah, so all things of equal virtue. So you've got 3 legs, you're compensating somewhere else. If you've got 2 legs, then that's because you're just walking, you know, that's your standard. But there's no other mammals on this planet with curly hair and 3 legs. So the thing with curly hair and 3 legs stands out as something that doesn't fit into this planet, and yet it's sold as the origins of all life, and it's sold as something. So you can see how far up the agenda this goes. And one of the things that really gets on my nerves is how Jewish people are often scapegoated in this whole historic movement as being the main bad guys in all of this. And really, the Jewish people are a subjugated people. Curly-haired, three-legged dudes captured my mum's people, or captured the Jewish people, the Neanderthal O-negative type original tangential humans on this planet were captured and farmed for their looks, so that they could be used to do business with the blondie A blood groups. And so essentially Jewish people get a lot of bad press, but how that actually works is done on a capitulation method. So slaves, captured white people won't just rape kids indefinitely. They don't do it. Yeah. So to have actually expressed hybrids, you have to have the complicity of a society for it to happen into. Otherwise, it's very time-consuming and expensive to do each one. You have to sit over the mum and make sure it feeds, make sure it wet nurses properly. Yeah. So there's a whole history of how that was originally done. So originally it was the children of men that were used against the women as handlers and leverage, so that your dead husband's kid stays alive if you wet nurse a hybrid for one of these curly-haired dudes with 3 legs. And then from there, it used to be to get a marriage license, you'd have to have your firstborn, as actually cursed the firstborn, would have to be of a hybrid origin, would have to be an alien to get your marriage license, and then they would be the head of the family. And then moving further away from there to get to the point where you really started having to develop serious technology, you gave them 10 commandments and a bit of space, some enemies, and said you can have your own rules here as long as you sacrifice a number of your children, or you're willing to go and do business for other in Europe for us. So that's where the captivity inside the Ottoman Empire, etc. That's how Europe got all its funding for its education. So all of the Renaissance was funded by the Middle East. Yeah, I'm not saying that there weren't some side projects that groups had managed to secure their own funding for various projects, but essentially the direction of the technology that's been developed has been prescribed or forecast by pre-existing artifacts on this planet. So a lot of universities have been used to back engineer old relics from spaceships that used to be on this planet, or not necessarily spaceships, but old relics from various technologies that were on this planet previously, including the technologies required to move around in space, and various genetic engineering technologies. All of this very much has a history on this planet, and so the direction of the farming that we've taken has been very much compartmentalised, and so a lot of the technology we still have today is actually, most of it is suppressed, and we don't have access to half the technologies that have been invented or discovered, and that's again for very good reason, in as much as we need there's an agenda of farming that's basically gone a little bit slide anyway. And I guess we could talk more about the history. We could also talk about where the slides have happened, where their agenda's not gone to plan, and essentially where we are now, which is their plans should have come to an end by now, but they haven't, so that's interesting.